just kind of went out and, you know, saw this movie on its own, you would probably get the idea that, hey, boy, those guys, you know, really were clever and nifty and went ahead and, you know, shot some scenes talking about Corey not being there, Sam's character not being there, and that's a great excuse for why he's not in the movie. Unfortunately, that's not the reason. The truth of the matter is, when we planned out the script, we planned it out based on our response to events that unfolded while we were working on the second film, which obviously there were some, if you saw the two Corys, there were some problems getting those scenes with Mr. Haim. And the scenes turned out a bit lackluster, shall we say, and the studio wasn't very pleased with the end results, which is why his scene was diminished at the end of the tribe to just cut away at the end of the credits. So, because of those political problems, the decision was made pretty early on that Corey wasn't going to be a part of this film, and the script, which was later turned into the film, played out exactly as it was intended to. So you'll notice when you're watching this movie, there's many references to his character not being there. There is actually a bit of an homage to him, and there's scenes which directly imply that his character is gone. Beyond this, I mean, there's a lot of subtext in this movie, going back and calling back to the other characters in the original film, and which is something that was, you know, considerably missing in the tribe. But we wanted to really put a button on all of those things. So during this film, we had to actually shoot a scene, which I think we're going to show you the clip in a minute, but there's actually a scene where I go and I visit Sam's grave. And ironically, this is a true story, the night before we shot that scene, I was in Africa, and I was on the phone with Corey, and I was in my bathtub, actually, taking a bath at the end of the day. And it was hot. Not the appropriate time to be joking about. But I was in the bathtub, and I was on the phone talking to Corey, who was in America, and he was asking me how shooting was going, and how's production, and how's everything, and you know, I'm really sad that I don't get to be a part of this film. Jameson Newlander, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Jameson Newlander, just walking away. It's not.
That was my brother.
Looks like it. Anyway.
That was my brother.
So, you know, we were just kind of like laughing and giggling and talking about, you know, how the production was going and what was going on with the new movie. And he's like, you know, I really want to be a part of it. I really want to be there. And I said, you know, I really appreciate that, man. We all want you here, but, you know, politics are politics, and things got a little stuck last time around. And, you know, and he said, well, you know, what's going to happen, you know, to my character? I said, well, you're dead. But, you know, this is a vampire movie, so anything's possible. So we kind of referred to the fact that, you know, obviously if he could keep himself clean and sober, which he was doing a pretty good job of at that time, that, you know, I would make sure to make the good play for him at the studio level and see if we couldn't get him back for the next film. So we kind of, you know, loosely came up with the idea of how we bring a dead guy back in a vampire movie, which really isn't that difficult to do. A little imagination goes a long way. And so he got so excited by this idea that, of course, we hang up the phone and he runs right around and turns around and calls, you know, Associated Press and says, hey, I'm here to announce I'm not in the third Lost Boys film, but congratulations to them, I'm excited for them, and I will be coming back for the fourth film. So, we go to the set the next day, and we're at the cemetery, and I'm standing around his gravesite, and all the producers and myself get together in a little circle, and we're kind of joking, and I go, hey guys, I got some great news. Have you read the press today? And they said, no. And I said, well, the good news is that we're making a fourth film, and Corey Haim is going to star in it. And they were like, well, that's fabulous. So we were all kind of joking about, like, how do we realistically bring his character back for the next one? How are we going to make sense out of all this? Because we do have to have him back. And then the unfortunate circumstance took place, as it did. And by the way, he didn't die of a drug overdose, just for the record. But he was taken from us quite suddenly and unexpectedly due to heart failure. And that's the story. So unfortunately, there will not be the return But we do dedicate this film to him. This is an homage and a tribute to everything that Corey Haim worked for and was a part of, and it makes it that much more bittersweet when we watch this final moments of his on screen.